You're here researching infinite banking, so I know you are at least of average intelligence and probably much higher. So, if you haven't already created an IBC policy, you are by now chomping at the bit to get one going. Am I right? So, in this video, I'm going to lay out the process and typical timeline for getting an IBC policy so you will have reasonable expectations for how long it takes. And mahalo to Robert for suggesting this topic for a video. I've had people tell me that they wanted to get an IBC policy going so they could take a leverage loan by the end of this month. It was already the 25th. I wish it could be done all that fast. Aloha, I'm Stan Cox, principal broker and strategist with SC Finance Strategies and Insurance Consultants. I'm also the author of the books on the tax-free cash growth warehouse strategy, and I'm the managing director of the Hawaii Financial Freethinkers Academy, a nonprofit financial literacy education organization. For the past several years, I have focused on and specialized in the infinite banking concept and developing the tax-free cash growth warehouse finance strategy. Now, if you find this to be helpful, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Also, please post your questions and comments here. Now, while it's true that some small guaranteed issue policies for final expenses can be issued just a few days from the application, infinite banking policies are not in that category. For infinite banking, we need a properly designed policy with a mutual company, and that in itself takes some doing and some time. I mean, sure, you could just tell your IBC broker that you want an account that you can put X amount of dollars into and just go with the first thing he presents, and that could be fine. But even so, that's not the end of it. It's not like a broker or agent can just tell the insurance company, here's what we want, issue it, and it's done. No. Here's the process. Once the client is happy with the policy design, the application has to be completed and submitted to the company. Usually that'll be done online, so that part is pretty fast. Only takes about an hour to complete the application and hit send. Then a PDF copy of the application is sent to the client for them to review and digitally sign and return to the company. When that's done, the company will send the client an email with a link to go to a web page where they will go through a series of medical and history questions and submit that. Now, there will be the paramedical requirements to be completed. In most cases, that will include just a small blood draw and urine sample, height, weight, blood pressure measurements, and a series of medical questions. So that the paramed exam needs to be scheduled. And usually that takes a few days to be completed because the scheduling with the examiner and the availability of the client. And when the paramed exam is completed, the examiner will send the samples to a medical laboratory for testing. When the results are in, that usually takes a few days, they'll be sent to the underwriting department of the insurance company. Remember, infinite banking and the tax-free cash growth warehouse strategy uses the cash value of whole life insurance. Life insurance takes on the risk of a person dying and obligates the company to pay out a considerable sum of money, whether the policy owner has paid the insurance company a few hundred or several $1,000s. So it's serious business, life insurance. Okay, so now the underwriting department has the lab results and the answers to the medical and history questions, along with the application. With that information, they will then determine if they need more information or not. In either case, they will request a live medical interview with the client on the phone. It's not usually a long interview, typically about 15 minutes. And they might even request an additional physician statement to get clarity on something regarding the proposed insured's health condition. That request will be sent directly to the client's doctor. And none of this is charged to the client. The insurance company covers all the costs for all these things. This additional physician statement can take a while. It really depends on how long it takes for the doctor to comply with the request. Doctors are typically pretty busy, and some just don't feel the urgency to get this done right away. It can usually be handled by office staff. I mean, after all, it's just a matter of copying patient records and mailing them to the insurance company. But of course, they want to be paid for it, for doing it. And that alone can take a few days, depending on if they will accept an electronic funds transfer or if they insist on a check being mailed to them. In any case, there is postal delivery to the insurance company that has to be factored in, because the report, the additional physician statement, the client records has to be mailed to the insurance company. But when the underwriters have all the information they need, it then takes them another 3 days, 3 to 5 days, that is excluding weekends and holidays, to make their decision. So the underwriters may decide that the insured is qualified for the rating that was applied for, or they may decide that the insured is qualified for a better rating, such as preferred or ultra preferred, or a substandard rating. Substandard ratings are referred to as table ratings. Table ratings are given alphabetic designations, such as table B, C, D, or further on down the alphabetic list, depending on the actual health condition. If the rating comes back as anything other than what was applied for, the policy illustration has to be redone to reflect the correct insured rating. That's because a better or lesser rating will affect the premium required. The agent or broker who is working on the case will be required to generate the corrected illustration and then resubmit it for the application. Then, when everything is completed, received, and approved by the underwriters, then the insurance company will issue the policy. That takes a couple of business days. The policy will either be emailed to the client and the agent or broker, or a hard copy will be mailed to the client. When the policy is received by the client, the first premium becomes due. So the whole process from application to the policy being issued takes between 2 and 6 weeks, usually. It can take longer depending on, especially in the case of additional physician statement, how long it takes to get all the requirements done. And I've had it 2 weeks. I've had it take 2 weeks just for the paramed to be completed because of the client's schedule. And that's the first thing that has to be completed for the underwriting to even get started. Then, of course, if an additional physician statement is required and the doctor stalls on getting it done and sent to the insurance company, that can really slow things down. The fastest I've ever had a policy issued was 2 weeks. And that was only in one case out of all the cases I've worked on in all the years I've been doing this. When everything goes smoothly and no additional requirements are needed, it usually takes 3 to 4 weeks. So plan for between 4 to 6 weeks from the time you sign your application for your policy to be issued. Now, if you found this to be helpful, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Also, please post your questions and comments here. You have questions, we have answers. For a more complete explanation of the tax-free cash growth warehouse strategy, you can watch our free 60-minute webinar. The link is in the description box below. The link to buy my books on Amazon.com is also below. If you'd like to book a free phone consultation with me, the link to my Calendly page is below. If you'd like to apply to become a client of ours, that link to the application is also below. We're here to help, and we look forward to helping you. Aloha and mahalo for watching.